Hi everyone, welcome to the Movie Section Show. My name is Fariba, and just a couple minutes ago, we just got a new trailer for the upcoming film Mission Impossible. The Final Reckoning? I believe this trailer may have played at CinemaCon last week, so this is just basically what we're getting from that footage. I'm just gonna expect that we're gonna get a little bit more of an insight as to what's going to happen with Ethan. If I recall, the last trailer that we got, it was just really kind of giving a whole spiel of what to anticipate in terms of the action and what the stakes are. We got to see some of the action that's going to be happening in the film, especially that one like submarine scene, as well as the fact that we're going to have another plane sequence. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to go too much into it, so without further ado, let's get right down into watching the trailer for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
This can't all be true.
Every word. CIA Black
so
Vault
another
break-in.
recap.
Am I reading this correctly?
Nick
Kremlin bombing.
Offerman.
In fairness, the bomb was actually meant to kill him.
He gassed a security briefing.
So that's from the last movie.
That was just 2 months ago.
This explains the handcuffs. It's still not clear why he's here.
If we want to bring the world back from the brink, we have to deal with him.
Should he choose to accept?
Okay.
Smart people on every side are close to panicking.
There's Hannah.
What exactly is?
That's a guy for Severance. Little chick. What's going on? Okay.
Your team has been betrayed, Ethan.
Again. Oh, this
Your
reminds me of
secret's
Fallout. No, it wasn't
compromised.
Fallout. Rogue Nation.
Everything you are, everything
callbacks.
you've done, has come to this.
You gave him an aircraft carrier?
Okay.
Our lives are the sum of our choices. This is your calling, your destiny. I have no regrets. Neither should you.
I need you to trust me. One last time.
Okay. Alrighty, that was the new trailer for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, and there's definitely a little bit more of a clarity of what's going on with this saga. And I mean, just watching this trailer, that they're really doubling down on the fact that this could be Tom Cruise's last installment for the Mission Impossible franchise. I mean, the way that they were kind of referring back to a lot of the moments and sequences from the previous films and calling back to them. Heck, there's even a lot of callbacks that we see in what looks to be present day sequences. That they're really doubling down the fact that this could truly be Tom Cruise's final installment for Mission Impossible, although I feel like a lot of us are still having doubts about that, because is it really the last? But I mean, this could really be it, and I think this is another trailer that really emphasizes that this could be the last, especially with how the trailer goes back to older moments, as well as kind of showing the parallel to what's happening in the present day. And I mean, there's a lot of sequences I want to kind of talk about. So of course, from the looks of it, it does seem as though that once again Ethan, I don't want to say disavowed, but he is once again treated as if he is, dangerous, a criminal in a way. We've seen that happen so many times in the Mission Impossible franchise. I think we've seen that before with like Rogue Nation, and we've seen that with what was it? It wasn't Fallout. What was the one between Fallout? It's hard to keep up with the names. But we've seen so many times how he's been disavowed by the, what was it, IMF, right? IMF. And we're seeing that now here. It's like, oh, they can't really trust him. There, you can see a lot of the people in the executive room who are having doubts about him. They're kind of doing a whole examination about his whole history. I believe that's Kitteridge that we're seeing here. So it's like, oh, I believe he had some, you know, history with Ethan. It's been a while. I gotta rewatch these movies, but you can tell they're doing a whole reevaluation about him. He's in handcuffs. So it seems so that they're, you know, they're trying to kind of get some kind of control over him, especially with what happened last month as well, especially with the fact that he does have the 2 keys in his possession, and that could change anything, considering the fact that, you know, it's all involved about the whole AI situation, and the entity. So it does seem as though that that's going to be the case here. I mean, at some point you can tell that, you know, some kind of brouhaha happens by the end of his visit at the, you know, agency, that they have to trust him once again, which is probably what they mean by the end of that sequence. I initially thought that was him talking to his team, but now it's so that they're actually talking to kind of this board that's determining his, you know, his work status, I guess, with them. And that's probably the case where they're like, you have to trust me one last time. So who knows, maybe it might not necessarily lead to Ethan Hunt's death, but this could be a sense that after this mission that he might go into retirement, although again, he's kind of done that before, so it's like, is it really retirement? But yeah, I mean, just looking at it, we have a little bit more of a better context. I think when you look at all the sequences that we do see, like it does once again, you know, emphasize the fact that this could be the last. So you can see how he's having a final moment with Luther. He's having a final moment with Benji. And those are 2 characters that he's been associated with for a long, long time, especially with Luther. I think Luther's the one other character who's been in all the movies. Maybe I might be wrong about that, but those are the 2 characters that he's been associated with for a long, long time. We got some really great sequences that we're probably going to be seeing. We see the airplane one. That's kind of like a callback to it wasn't Fallout. What was the one between Fallout and Rogue Nation? It was that one. I cannot remember the name. Yeah, I cannot remember the name right now. But you have that. There was one sequence where he's with Race, where they look to be kind of being in this room. That's like a whole call out to that same film that I cannot remember the title right now. What else? We got the airplane, we got the submarine scene that they keep hitting about. It looks really intense. I think that's the one that everyone's really kind of looking forward to seeing. But yeah, I mean, once again, you can just see that Tom Cruise is really putting all his energy into this film, especially if this is truly going to be his final summon once and for all. There's obviously going to be the question of, you know, whether or not they're going to continue the franchise with someone else as the head, because it doesn't say Ethan Hunt on the title, it says Mission Impossible. So it could be just about anybody who could take over as the lead, but we're not going to go into the conversation. That's going to be for another time. I mean, probably after, when the movie comes out, when we get an actual like idea of what really happens and what transpires, that maybe perhaps we'll have be aware of what's going to happen and what is truly going to be Tom Cruise's future in the Mission Impossible franchise. But just seeing the trailer, I mean, it looks really promising. We've seen one time and time again that, you know, he's always puts like 200% when it comes to his stunt work and making sure that he's able to really bring the best of the Mission Impossible movies. For me personally, I mean, I always put like Rogue Nation, Fallout, those films at the top. I wasn't particularly, I mean, what was it? It was a Mission Impossible. It wasn't Final Reckoning. It was Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, right? I mean, that wasn't my favorite. I mean, it had some really good scenes without a doubt. And I think going into the whole AI thing was like really getting into the, you know, modern world a little bit, because that is a big discussion that's happening in the real world as well. I'm still very upset about the whole Ilsa death, because that's the one thing I was just like, if there's one thing that I was really looking to seeing, is seeing Ilsa, and because she's honestly became one of my favorite characters going into the franchise, and then just to see what they did to her, it's like, and I don't think she's gonna come back. I mean, who knows? Maybe we might see some kind of surprise. I highly doubt it, especially with how Rebecca Ferguson has been responding about that. But even if that's the case, right? We'll see how it all kind of transpires when the movie does come out. I totally forgot this movie comes out in May. I thought it was coming out in July. It's coming out in May. So I'm going to be looking forward to seeing this regardless. I mean, that shouldn't be coming as a surprise. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about this trailer. I mean, it kind of gives a little bit more of insight into what the story is going to be about, what's really happening with Ethan and his team. And now that we have that context, it'll give us a little bit of idea of what to look forward to when we get into the Final Reckoning. So yeah, let me know the thoughts having now seen the new trailer for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I mean, what are your thoughts now seeing what kind of new information they're giving us in regards to what the film's gonna be about? We see once again that he is probably going to be I want to say disavowed, but he's going to be arrested in some way because of the fact that he's such a really dangerous person that, you know, it's really hard for anyone to trust him. Of course, like, what do you think that means moving forward? Do you think for a fact that my predictions are, you know, what I was able to assess from that's that probably they're going to have to trust him for this one last mission because it is regarding, you know, AI and the fact that he has the 2 keys on him. What do you think about this new sequence that we've gone so far? It seems so that we're going to be, that the key stunt, the key action sequence are going to be the airplane and the submarine scene. So those are going to be the 2 things to keep an eye on. Do you really think this could be Tom Cruise's last film? I think that's going to be the biggest question going into this film. Is this truly going to be Tom Cruise's last film? I mean, just having seen this trailer, they're once again implying that this is the last, but do you have doubts about that? Let me know your thoughts below and make sure to like and subscribe.